Ambassador Yelthara had interrogated prisoners from a dozen species across her 3 centuries of military service, but she had never encountered anything like the human sitting calmly across from her. The detention cell aboard her flagship was designed to break the will of captured enemies. Harsh lighting, uncomfortable temperature, the constant hum of engines that disrupted most species' sleep cycles. The human, who'd identified himself only as Sergeant Williams, sat with his hands folded, watching her with curious brown eyes that showed no trace of fear, desperation, or even concern. It was deeply unsettling. "Your fleet is destroyed," Yelthara stated, her 4 arms gesturing to emphasize each point. "Your colonies are burning. Your homeworld will fall within days. You are completely alone, facing interrogation by the hegemony's finest. Yet you show no fear. Why?" Williams tilted his head slightly, as if considering the question from a purely academic perspective. "Should I be afraid? Of course you should." Yelthara's scales flushed orange with frustration. "I have broken warriors twice your size. I have made apex predators weep for their mothers. The Brutari champion himself begged for mercy in this very room. And what did that accomplish?" The simple question caught her off guard. What? The fear, the begging, the breaking, what did it actually accomplish? Did it change the tactical situation? Did it resurrect their dead fleets? Did it somehow undo their defeats? Yelthara stared at him. It demonstrated their acceptance of defeat, their recognition of the hegemony's supremacy. Williams nodded thoughtfully. So the fear was the point. Not information extraction, not strategic advantage, just the fear itself. "Fear is a tool," she said, though somehow his calm analysis made her explanation sound hollow. "It breaks resistance, opens minds to cooperation." Has it opened my mind to cooperation? She realized with growing unease that it hadn't. If anything, his complete lack of fear was more unsettling than if he'd been screaming. "Why aren't you afraid?" she asked again, and this time she couldn't keep the frustration from her voice. Williams was quiet for a long moment, studying her with those disturbingly steady eyes. When he finally spoke, his voice was soft, conversational, like he was sharing a mildly interesting observation about the weather. "I grew up on a world where the storms can level cities, where the wildlife considers us food, where the very air tries to kill you if you're not careful. I've served in 3 interstellar wars, watched good friends die in battles across 17 systems, and survived things that would break most beings' sanity." He leaned forward slightly, and for the first time since the interrogation began, Yelthara felt a chill run down her spine. "But you want to know the real reason I'm not afraid, Ambassador?" She found herself nodding despite not meaning to. "It's because I've seen what humans do when we're afraid. I've seen what my species becomes when we're backed into a corner, when our homes are threatened, when we have nothing left to lose." His expression never changed, still calm, still conversational. But something in his eyes made Yelthara's breath catch. "I'm not afraid because I'm not the one in danger here. You are." "That's ridiculous," she stammered. "You're the prisoner. Your people are losing this war." Williams smiled then, not with malice or anger, but with something far worse, pity. "Ambassador, you've made the same mistake every other species makes when they encounter humans. You think because we can be reasonable, civilized, even friendly, that those are our only settings. You think because we prefer peace that we're soft." He sat back in his chair, completely relaxed. "You're holding me prisoner on your flagship, surrounded by your fleet and your territory. You think you have all the advantages. But let me ask you something. In all your intelligence briefings about humans, did anyone mention what we're like when we stop being reasonable?" The lights in the detention cell flickered momentarily, probably just a power fluctuation, but Yelthara found herself flinching. "I'm not afraid because I know something you don't," Williams continued in that same calm tone. "Right now, scattered across your empire, there are humans who've just learned that their families, their friends, their entire civilization might be wiped out. And they've stopped being reasonable." He met her eyes directly. "You should probably start running." As if summoned by his words, emergency klaxons began blaring throughout the ship.